Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Ephemeral One, and welcome back to once again to No Man's Sky. Unfortunately, my data got corrupted, so I'm gonna have to start over from scratch. But to be perfectly honest, I don't mind. I saw there was a new patch running, so we begin again. I don't know. I'm just exhausted after work. So, honestly, yeah, I'm just exhausted. So I figure, let's do something. I've apparently started on an explosive world. Okay. Dehydrated. High flora, moderate fauna. Okay. A volcanic event. Alright. Yep. Alright, so I need to gather ferrite dust. One thing I do want to do is perspective. I think that's in setting camera view. Back to first person. There we go. Yeah. I'll always find this game most comfortable in first person. Alright. 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 So, starting over yet again. Alright. Locate sodium. Alright. Just so we'll have some to be able to fix our hazard protection from the element. And specifically, this planet is way too hot for our system. Well, I know for one person I know who would be very much agree with me on this. Having to deal with heat problems is always kind of a pain. Alright. And recharging hazard protection. Thankfully, it is relatively cheap. And now it is always going to be constantly running. Alright. And it is over there. Okay. Hard to believe this game has been... They reached 6.0 just recently. And that's what attracted me to playing again, is... Well... Just seeing that they keep moving on. This game has actually been around for quite a while now. And Hello Games has done an amazing job of refining and building it up. The music is always calming. I'll always enjoy this game. And it'll be something fun to come back to. Wonder if they'll ever fully explain the story of the game, though. Well, even if no. There's still plenty of good joy to be taken. A procedurally generated universe that you get to explore. And what one sees one particular time may be completely different from another. Oh. Alright. Yep, various hazards, rocks. I've said before and I'll say it again, ever since this game, this would be kind of my... I would love to be able to do this. Go out, map, and explore various systems and planets. Study and research. Alright. The signal for us. We are iteration yada yada. Iteration yabba ba ba deleted. Boundary separation failure likely. Vessel 16 emptied. Sentinel intervention deliberate transfer. Fresh iteration generated. Anomaly containment prepared. Do we accept the guidance given to us, or do we leave it and find our own way? Well, I think finding our own way. Traveler anomaly detected, anomaly refused registration, position logged, system integrity scanned, initialized. So, we didn't take the guidance help of the Atlas, and found a ship instead. Alright. 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 The log of the one before us. Connected. Suggestion pilot should perform maintenance. Yeah. Alright. So we need hermetic seal and metal plating. Okay. For metal plating, we need rocks. Ferrite dust. Yep. So, pop the rocks till you get 50. Obviously the little ones are... Yep. Then go into your exosuit. Alright. Alright. And get our ship fixed up. But we don't know about the hermetic seal. Alright. Request assistance. Alright. Alright, so now we need to search. Yep. Planetary chart, which allows us to check. So we use it and let's see where it takes us. Alright. There we go. Alright. And... Yep, just gotta walk. Honestly, this game is one of those games where they give you a lot of ways to get around, but... End of the day, I tend to end up relying on my feet quite a bit. You can fly, drive, swim... Yep. And while we're on our way to do the analysis visor. Yeah, it's just carbon nanotubes. So that's mineral. And we'll be hitting up some plants here in a moment. Because obviously carbon's made from carbon nanotubes. Well, oh, okay, I said it backwards. Carbon nanotubes are made from carbon. So, And pop that before it explodes. Unidentified minerals. This remains one of those games that it's relaxing and just enjoyable to play. Alright, and see, these plants provide us with carbon. Note you get only a handful while it's still being mined, but you get a ton after it pops. So, the bulk of it rather than the buildup is when you break it through. Yep, there we go. Alright. And you'll see the weather's kind of bad and see how our screen's kind of fuzzy. This is because if you look in the bottom left, you'll see storm. Storms specifically mean in whatever particular weather problems a planet has, it's exacerbated. However, there are things you can find only during storms as well. So it's good and bad. But so long as you've got the materials to get through it, and the shielding, you should be fine. It's just going to eat through materials. But that's what they're there for. Let's see. Alright, carbon nanotubes. Just so we're able to analyze things. Because that's going to be a good source of money, is the ability to scan, register, and log. Now the funny part is, this is a procedurally generated universe. Fun fact, everything you may encounter when you encounter if somebody else hits this planet and I've registered something, they'll see that I registered it. Which is kind of a fun little thing. But yeah. So, that's where you get your incentive to scan everything. Is one of many. Alright. And I believe this storm is typically going to last until I reach the shelter over here. Just to give you an idea of, like, what you... Yeah. Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought it'd last until we got to there, but I guess not. Yep. And logging every kind of rock and stone and tree and plant. And now the big ones you'll want is fauna, the living creatures of the planet. If you manage to find and scan all of them, there's actually a special reward for that. Alright. And in this case, that's one of 6 species that live on this planet. Red dots are always new species. Green ones are ones you've seen before. So yeah, chasing the red dots. And bear in mind, there are some amazing... I think there can be something like 20-some different species on the planet. Alright. Oop. Need to... Yep. Another benefit to scanning things is you might have noticed some materials have multiple slots, and some are question marks. Well, when a mineral has multiple parts, you'll actually start getting trace amounts, they call it, or minor parts of the other material. Alright. And let's see, where's that animal? Saw it there a minute ago. No, as I say, that's, yeah. Alright. No, I saw one around here a minute ago. There you are. Alright. And yes, you can rename the creatures before you upload them, so if you find one and you want to call it something in particular... Absolutely. Yep. Man. Oh, there's another new one over here. Little wide-headed guys. They're the Octogulum. Yeah. I think we're at 4 of 6 species. And that's just some transport ships going around. Yep. And if you're ever unsure, I'll show you when we get there. But if you're ever unsure of... innate. And I'm in the exact same point. That's why this is part exhaustion. I'm choosing to do No Man's Sky because it is a relaxing, calm game. Alright, residual goop. Okay, I can live with that. Some nanites, perfect. Yeah, I'm burned out, so I'm going with a safe, easy game for me. First aid kit if you've gotten hurt. Holo archive. Normally gives you nanites, but because this is a tutorial part. Alright. Alright. Hermetic seal. Yep. So I already have the analysis visor. There's a new creature. Little tiny thing. 5 of 6 species. Sentinel, not what we're looking for. Oh. And get away from the explosives. And the ship's back over there. And if you're ever unsure of where or how to find the species and you're not seeing it commonly, go to your discoveries, go over to the planet you're on, and here we go. The reason we haven't found this 6th one, it's rare, so how common it is to find, where it's located, and whether day or night matter. And in this case, it doesn't matter, but it only lives underground. So we need to find a hole in the ground if we want to get that. Oh, also, any like station or place you locate like these will always have... There's the save point. Yeah. Ah, well. They'll always have a save point here somewhere, and I just don't see it, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. The game autosaves pretty frequently. Anyway. Heading back to the ship. On the lookout for any underground areas, so we can get possibly our 6th creature. Like so. I see a hole in the ground. Let's see if we get lucky. Okay, we got some more nanites. Alright. So yeah, your best bet's always going to be looking for a natural cave. You can dig underground and hope you get lucky, but these are usually your best bet. If it leads... Okay, looks like this does lead into a underground passage. And only slight one. And that is hazardous flora. Yep. They explode if you get too near. I'm supposed to have tomorrow off. We'll see if I get called in, but as things stand right now, no. Yes, I do. I'd rather. So I'll get to relax a little. Alright. And this underground area is a little too small for the creatures to spawn, so I have to find a different cave to work with. But in the meantime, we'll just keep looking. Yeah, I was just burned out. I work as a cashier, or at least that's the official title I have. And I did around 200 some transactions by myself today. Closer to 210, 220, somewhere around there. Either way, we were just swamped all day because there was only 2 cashiers. And it was just non-stop all day. And honestly, it just burns you out. Alright, now this is looking a little promising. Anytime you see these columns, the cobalt is officially a underground metal. So this is a case of the underground reaching out to the surface. But this is also looking like an interesting cave. Yeah. Now another thing about underground is that the temperature levels are always controlled. So if it's a planet that is super hot, it's actually in your benefit to hide out a storm underground. Alright. Alright. And we're just hoping to get lucky, maybe find 1 or 2. Find the one creature we're looking for. Or at least go deep enough that it spawns. It is rare, though. Ah, shit. Yep. That sound you hear is when hazardous flora starts becoming an issue. Oh, and our... Alright. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, not exactly the most ideal. Yeah. By the way, are these... No. Now remember, the creature is known to be rare. So, you might have to walk and be underground for a while before it spawns. Copper and organic rock, subterranean relics. Oh, that's something. Alright. Special type of ore. See here, it has pure ferrite as the main mineable thing. But you see dihydrogen, you'll get a handful, like 4 or 5 units of it. Basically just an extra. Just little perks and extras. Alright. Yep, still no sign of it. Oop, there it is. There's that hazardous flora. I heard the oxygen start to go. Yeah. But yeah. Get rid of the hazardous flora whenever you can. Just make your life easier. It only gives you oxygen, but oxygen can still be useful. Again, we're just on the lookout for that last little red dot. No particular reason other than, plus it's a good excuse to go spelunking. Though I think we may have hit the end of the cave. Well, we'll see. Yep, that's the end of it. Oh well. Well, it's a rare creature, so don't get it on your first try. Keep looking. Yeah. I had my, as I said before, my data got corrupted, so unfortunately we lost all my previous progress. Luckily, I was only about, 40, I think about 40 or 50 hours in, which, with this game, is actually not that far. Which is kind of funny and sad to say. This is the kind of game you could sink hundreds of hours into and not feel any worse for wear. Okay. Don't have a mining tool, so we're just having to backtrack. So. Yep. Oh. Okay, no, that's not the hazardous flora. That's us just sliding along. Alright. Yeah. Coming underground too, if you want to, for a mining. Getting as much cobalt as possible, because actually getting a lot of cobalt is really useful, because it allows you to create, because I believe you start with the recipe, yes, the battery. For only 5 ferrite dust, so any pebble plus 10 cobalt becomes a battery that basically will refill your entire hazard protection. So it is a great idea to make and keep as many batteries on your back pocket as possible. Because it will save your life, especially if you're on the harder difficulties. If you're on the harder difficulties, typically speaking, yeah, just keep as many batteries in your back pocket as possible. It'll save your life. But I'm not looking to do the hard mode. I'm just looking to enjoy myself. So, unfortunately, this cave was a bust. Oh well. The other thing about this game that makes it so relaxing is the simple truth. There's no rush. It's just that simple. There's no rush to do all you need to or want to. It's more of an inevitability. Have your own spaceship, your own fleet of ships. It'll come eventually. Just take your time and enjoy yourself. Alright. Note that even though the creatures we're looking for are underground, you can sometimes get fortunate, get a very high up cave system, and end up running into it that way. Then you just need to find a way down. Or when you have some upgrades, dig your way to it. But that's for later. For now, we're just heading back to our ship to fix it up so it can fly once again. For now, anyway. It's a big universe, folks. In both game and real life. It's a big universe. So big, people get terrified of it. And start to believe that they have a right to have all of it to themselves. When it's something we all share. Not gonna preach love and peace. I don't expect it to be that way anyway. More than love and peace, I just personally tend to think it's best to just have life and enjoy it. Okay. Alright, almost there. Alright. And made it back. Alright. Let's fix it up. Yep, so the pulse engine is now fixed. Now we need to fix the launch thrusters. We need dihydrogen jelly. Now the funny thing is calling it dihydrogen is two hydrogen atoms connected. In other words, you see all these blue crystals that we've seen around. I've walked past plenty of them even not just already. Well, they're what we need to make dihydrogen jelly. So, yep, we need 40 of it. Ah, and trick about your mining laser. The longer you hold it, you'll notice the beam changes color. The beam actually grows more efficient at mining the hotter it burns. Or at least it mines faster. But of course, it's also a case of it burns up and it burns hot, so you can blow up in your face and have to cool down. But keeping it relatively high means you can, mine that much faster. And dihydrogen jelly. And that'll be the second to last thing we need. Alright. Oh, unidentified mineral. Scan it. Lahalite. Or Lehalite? However you would want to pronounce it. Anything you scan does get a randomized name from a pre-selected group. Alright. So, we'll get in the ship, because while you're in your ship, you'll notice your hazard protection recharges. Alright. And the last thing we need is not steel plates. We need a portable refiner to make pure ferrite. So, alright. A portable refiner. Oh, we need to turn... Okay, so, yeah, we need to turn it into a plate to make a portable refiner. And we pick it up and put it in our pocket for the moment. Okay. Because what we need now more of is ferrite dust to turn into pure ferrite. Alright. Yep. So relaxing. Get some rocks. Nice. There's a good amount. So then we take the portable refiner, plop it down. First you gotta fuel it, and we've got plenty of carbon. And then we need to put the ferrite dust in. And here we can see it converts it at a rate of 1 to 1. So for each one becomes another. And we only needed 50. So there we go. Now you can say, well, why didn't you turn all of it into ferrite dust? All into pure ferrite. Because believe it or not, in this game, both ferrite dust and pure ferrite are both useful in different ways. So you'll need both in the end. Because remember, you need ferrite dust to make batteries. So if I go get some cobalt, all of a sudden I've got some free, shield healing. Now, speaking of, it looks like our oxygen tank's getting a little low. That's the bar underneath the elemental shielding. Alright. And now we can fix our launch thrusters with the pure ferrite. Alright, we're able to take off. You ready, folks? Let's ascend. All systems functional. Seek answers among the stars. So, let's do just that. Push up. And on. We're escaping velocity. A smooth exit from the planet. This is a 5-planet system ruled by the Gek. Alright, so let's test our flight controls. R2 controls your velocity and how fast you're going. You'll notice you lose speed when you let go. So long as you're in space, you will just eventually your momentum will die off until you crawl to a stop. Which anyone who understands physics goes, wait, no, that's not right. In space, if you don't stop yourself, you'll just keep going. There's no gravity to stop you, there's nothing to drag you back. But that's just the mechanic of the game. Then there is our boost. So this is where our engines can go even faster. So you can stack these two with R2 hitting. If you look in the left-hand side next to where you see Tidal Reaper, this is actually our speedometer is on the left in the middle. And if you combine thrust and that, yeah, we have a speed of max out currently of 2,678 units per second. Whatever the units per second is. And then the big one. Alright. This is how you go supremely fast. The pulse drive. We just for a few seconds, and look how far we came away. Oh, someone wants to talk with us? Sure. Incoming transmission. Source 492B25B. Please identify. Okay. I'm Reflem Sorajian. You are not alone. Follow the broadcast ends as strangely as it began. The final piece of the signal appears to be a set of planetary coordinates. So,
navigational data received.
Indeed. And where do they want us to go now? Alright. You'll see that if we kill our speed, eventually we get to see arrive in 2 hours with our regular thrusters. Our boost even faster. Okay, 20 minutes. That is significantly faster. However, the pulse drive cuts it down to under a minute. However, if you look in the center console, you can see that pulse drive fuel is limited. And we're headed to an unknown planet. And we click L3, we can scan it to learn it is a desert, where you can find cactus flesh, copper, pyrite, and salt. Any further things we need to learn, we can only do by heading down. And that's just what we'll do. Here we go. And we'll arrive shortly. As we pull down into the planet's atmosphere, of course we get some friction. But our ship is able to handle it pretty damn well. Alright. It's a busy universe out here, folks. Oop. Got a little too low. Alright. Alright. So we're at the rough coordinates. And we've arrived on a new planet. Oh boy. And it's one of the annoying planets. Alright. Target ahead. Yeah. Okay. Can't say I ever played that one myself, but I can definitely see where this game was definitely inspired by a lot of things, so. Alright. And yeah, a whole new planet means more to scan. Whole new resources to find and plenty to learn. New planets, new flora, new fauna. Yep. Yep, and new creatures. And there are 10 species on this planet. Alright. Oh, we found it. Alright. So the signal that came to us, or at least the machinery that was relaying us the signal earlier, with whatever we've spoken with. Yep, I remember. Jeopardy on floppy disk, yep. Yep. Alright, so we need to have... So, one of the earliest things we get our hands on is the base computer. So, we now have the means to make a base and find someplace nice to live. Also, this planet has giant flying worms. I don't know why I need that to be known that, but that is true. So, yeah, I think we're just gonna find a different planet, because I don't know if I want to put my base on a desert world. There were 5 species, 5 planets in the solar system. Alright. Oh. These stones are basically allow you to become more familiar with the language of one of the three major species in the game: the Gek, the Korvax, and the Viking. Oh no, PC Jeopardy. I remember that. Alright. Let's see if there are any other planets in the system that might be more hospitable. Because that one has sentinels on alert all the time, and Okay. Now, to help us navigate is our radar on the middle here. Alright, so this is one of the planets we haven't checked in this system. Scan it. Another bleak desert planet. Okay. There we go. Here. Another one we haven't seen. A fiery planet. So it looks like Oopsal Desert. Alright. Oh. And if you're ever worried that you might run out of boost fuel, don't. If you stay out of boost every now and then, you'll come across an asteroid field like this. And in it, you can find tritium, which is the fuel source. And since these are laser beams I'm shooting and they don't pay for ammo, I'd say we're in pretty good shape. But yeah. Ouch. Yeah. A precursor to Fallout, it feels like, for that. Alright. We check this one? Not yet. Oh. Desolate. Ooh. Okay. It might be worth it. Okay, desolate planets are kind of a mixed bag kind of thing. That rusted metal is actually a potentially huge get. At least, especially for much later. Alright. Let's see how bad it is. Now, there are some definite downsides to dealing with a desolate planet. For one thing, the rate of oxygen consumption is much higher, just because the atmosphere is so thin, typically. Alright. But rusted metal is actually one of the best sources because it becomes ferrite dust at such a high rate that just cheaply mining the stuff is actually fantastic. Now, one of the other things to note is scanning a planet. If you scan while in the atmosphere, you're typically going to scan along the planet's surface looking for bases, you know, ruins, or anything of real note or import. Alright. So, since I don't have any good, can't seem to find any good location to start, well, just pick at random. Alright. We'll go with this for now. Now, low security, perfect, so no, yeah. However, because Copper, copper, rusted metal deposit. Okay. Alright. Hmm. Alright. Yeah. Like, desolate planets are a really good resource gathering locations. Now, the other thing to note about it is they are very inhospitable. Like, you'll notice that there's the two arrows when I walk on the bottom left corner. This means I'm using twice as much oxygen as I would normally, because the atmosphere is so thin on this planet. Alright. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Not much out here, not much around. Ah, whispering eggs. These are the major hazard to these places. Because whispering eggs summon these abomination creatures. And if you get too close, it's not worth it. Hmm. Alright. Okay. So we'll actually mark that rusted metal, because that's where we'll throw the base. So that when we get the actual technology and ready to go, we'll be able to just set up a mine and get as much ferrite dust and pure ferrite as we ever need. But yeah. Strongest magnetic field of all the metals we've scanned thus far. Yep, and you do get some cash for scanning, and then if you can get even more if you find all the species. Though not every planet does have an extra species. Hmm. Yep. Probably could have flown us there quicker, but oh well. Steps towards our inevitable victory or inevitable milestone. Yeah. Ah, and you'll notice how high we are. This is purely because the atmosphere and the gravity are so low on this planet. Hmm. Alright. Hmm. Well, we're getting there. Yep. It's easy to see where you can get turned around by just the map generation. Alright. Spelljammer. I think I played it briefly. I don't think I ever owned it. Like I played it over someone else's house. Hmm. Hmm. Alright. You have one of our loyalty cards? And yeah, I did just ask that. Gods. Yes, that. Yeah, that's how I know I'm getting tired, because I'm just talking out of my ass from from work. Yeah, you have one of our loyalty cards, yada yada yada.
Life support power low.
Oh,
Technology recharge.
there we go. Hmm. Oh, okay, we're almost to the metal deposit. Yeesh. Well, at least Baldur's Gate 3 made it. Okay. Alright, so rusted metal. Before we can do that, though, we'll need to make an upgrade. Carbon nanotubes
Technology installed.
and dihydrogen jelly. Alright. Alright. Okay, at least there won't be a shortage of the stuff, as you can see. Oh, there's countless series I'd love to see come back. I mean, one of my favorite series I was looking through the other day, Drakengard. I would love to see a collection, not even a remaster. I want a pure remake of the original Drakengard's trilogy. And then just to give Yoko Taro, now that he's got a clearer vision with Nier and all this, I'd be curious to see what he would do with a remake of that. Alright. Dragonlance would be nice. Alright. There are countless games that would be alright. And we have the terrain manipulator. So what that will allow us to do... Alright. So just to give an example, we know that this is rusted metal, and you need rather than the mining beam, the mining terrain manipulator. There was actually a time in this game when they originally came out that you would have only needed the original one. Oh, yeah. Alright. And now that we have the rusted metal, we can throw it into our potable refiner. So, just to give an example, rusted metal becomes... Yeah, it basically becomes 2 ferrite dust.
Technology recharge.
It'll only take 40 seconds, but effectively we're doubling the amount of ferrite dust we have access to. Either way. Right, we're supposed to gather copper next. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting pretty tired. I think I'm going to cut this one short, but I can also show off one of the nicest things in this game is the ability to call your ship. And it's out of fuel. Okay. So we need copper. Heading back towards the ship. Okay, copper. Salt. Okay, that's relatively close, so we'll take that one. Alright. I'll keep going. I don't know. Though, of course, if I was to ever pick a book series to turn into a game slash movie, it would probably be one of my favorite series called The Black Company. It's, turning that into a turning that into a game would be kind of interesting. If for no other reason than I imagine it enabling you to play just about the entire cast at one point or another. Mm. All right. All right, we're getting there. Need 50, 60 copper. Hmm. All right. Hmm. Almost. There we go. And just gotta pick up the copper, head to the ship. Hmm. Like I said, I'm starting to get a little sleepy. But I kind of want to get at least this far. Alright. 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 I'm at 36 copper. Hmm. Nice. Alright, almost there. Hmm. Alright. Alright. Hmm. Okay. Luckily, we just have the portable room. Okay. I've spaced out and forgot where I put it. Oh well. Hmm.
Life
Alright.
support power low.
Oh yeah, and if you run out of life support, you do just die. So make no mistake, they aren't kidding about that being your life support. It is literally what's keeping you alive. Whether you've been injured, which is one interpretation that can be taken. Hmm. Alright. Starting to feel a little lightheaded and sleepy myself. Almost there. Hmm. And there's our beloved ship. Have a good one. Alright. Yeah, when I'm repeating stuff from work, it's definitely a sign I've been very tired. Alright. Take it easy. Yeah. Okay. So, we're going to call it here for right now, folks. I want to thank you all for joining me. I have been the Ephemeral One, and this has been more of us getting back to No Man's Sky. Thank you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now, folks. Bye for now.